Good evening and welcome to News 9. I'm Nolan Pinto. Now, Shakuntala Bangarappa, the wife of former Chief Minister S. Bangarappa, passed away this evening. She breathed her last at Malya Hospital after a prolonged spell of illness. Now, CEO of Malya Hospital, Commander Indru Vadvani, confirmed the news and stated that she finally succumbed to her ailment after receiving treatment for over 6 months. Raghavendra Rajkumar was the earliest to visit Malya Hospital. A few moments later, he left. The actor Shivraj Kumar stated that her body will be taken to Sorab today and will be cremated tomorrow. Now, 78-year-old Shakuntala was the wife of former Chief Minister S. Bangarappa. She was suffering from cancer. Now, she breathed her last at around 2 this afternoon. She had been rushed to Malya Hospital after she collapsed at her residence in Sadashiv Nagar. She was admitted to the ICU at around 2:30 this noon, where she breathed her last. Now, arrangements have been made for the family and well-wishers to pay their last respects at the Sadashiv Nagar residence. She will be cremated at the Banga Dam in Sorab village of Shimoga district. These are visuals from a home. You can see Amrish over there along with Kumar Bangarappa. Now, Geeta Shivraj Kumar as well as Madhu Bangarappa are also standing. You can clearly see them now. However, what we see that is even in times of death, both the brothers stand as far away from each other. Now, the tragedy that has befallen upon the Bangarappa family seems to have failed to unite the two warring brothers. Madhu Bangarappa and Kumar Bangarappa were seen maintaining their distance from each other, even as they stood under the same roof in the Sadashiv Nagar residence. Now, you can clearly see they are both standing over there near where the coffin is, while Kumar Bangarappa is standing along with Congress members. You have Madhu Bangarappa along with Geeta Shivraj Kumar, their sister, standing on the other side. As of now, we have told that arrangements have been made for the family and well-wishers to pay their last respects at the Sadashiv Nagar residence. For more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Arun. Arun, now we see that tragedy has befallen this family, but still the brothers stand apart from each other.
That's the irony, Nolan, because remember, one would have expected that the family display some sign of unity, but we know that the issue of politics has kind of riveted the family. It's kind of split the brothers, because remember, there are two of them. There are 2 brothers and 3 sisters. The sisters are united, but clearly as far as the brothers are concerned, they don't seem to see eye to eye, and that's the reason why you are seeing different kind of vibes coming in. You have Kumar Bangarappa, who belongs to one particular party, and Madhu Bangarappa, who belongs to another party, and politics seems to be taking precedence instead of a united family coming to the forefront, Nolan.
Now, Arun, when will the mortal remains be shifted from Bengaluru to Shimoga?
We are given to believe that the mortal remains should be shifted later tonight. Remember, it will be cremated at the same place where the mortal remains of the former Chief Minister lie. So, obviously, the mortal remains will be shifted perhaps later tonight, allowing the people in that area. Remember, Malnad region, particularly Soraba and other areas, is the place where Bangarappa held his dominance, and people of that particular region would be looking forward to paying their last respect. So the mortal remains will be left in state for the public to have their last glimpse of this lady. She was virtually the power behind the former Chief Minister, nursing him even when he was not keeping good health. She brought forward this family, 5 of them, 2 sons and 3 daughters. So obviously it's a kind of a model family. It's a very important family as far as that region of Karnataka is concerned, the Malnad region. The people will be eager to pay their last homage, and after the darshan, the body will be taken for cremation. We expect that the cremation should be happening towards noon or perhaps late noon, Nolan.
Right, and Arun, do we have any information as to what time the cremation will take place tomorrow?
It should be happening late noon tomorrow, Nolan, because remember, the family is sensitive to the feelings of the local populace, and they want to spend time, have the last darshan of this lady, and also pay their last homage. And so that will take time. Presumably, you will see streams of visitors coming to the place and paying their last tribute. So that should take a good amount of time tomorrow morning, and perhaps late afternoon will be the time when the cremation will take place.
Now, Varun, can you give us more information about Shakuntala Bangarappa as to her relationship with her 2 sons? Because earlier on there was talk that the JDS wanted her to be fielded as their candidate from Shimoga.
That's right, Nolan, but in fact that was perhaps the only instance where you could see Shakuntala Bangarappa's name making some kind of a political headline. Otherwise, she's always maintained a very low profile. She was more than perhaps willing to play second fiddle to her husband. Remember, her husband was a very tall and towering politico. He was a big leader in the Congress, then ventured out on his own, and then came back to the Congress. Also had a stint as the Chief Minister of the state. As you rightly pointed out, there was a lot of rumors in the air suggesting that Shakuntala Bangarappa could be the chosen one from the JDS. But remember, we are given to believe that she was keeping indifferent health. She was in fact suffering from cancer and was undergoing treatment. But unfortunately enough, the late leader's widow passed away this afternoon in a private nursing home. She was rushed to the nursing home and she passed away around 2:30. But clearly there was some amount of politicking as far as Shakuntala Bangarappa was concerned, because at one point of time it was talked of that she could probably come. Remember, on April 11th you had one instance in the steel city of Bhadravati. That was the place where actually she campaigned for her daughter Geeta Shivraj Kumar. Geeta, remember, is the JDS candidate from Shimoga. She has been pitted against B.S. Yediyurappa, the former Chief Minister, for the prestigious Lok Sabha seat from Shimoga. And this lady, despite the fact that she was keeping indifferent health, decided to actually campaign for her daughter. That happened on April 11th at Bhadravati, but that was perhaps the only instance where she displayed some kind of active political interest, because she's always maintained a low profile, so to speak, Nolan.
Right, thank you very much for all those details. Now, even though the tragedy that has befallen upon the Bangarappa family seems to have failed to unite the two warring brothers. Now, you can clearly see there Madhu Bangarappa and Kumar Bangarappa maintaining their distance from each other, even as they stand under the same roof. The Sadashiv Nagar residents. Now, two miscreants smeared cow dung on the face of Suresh Bhatt Bakrebel, district president of the Karnataka Komu Sauharda Vedike. The incident occurred soon after Bakrebel addressed a press meet at Hotel Woodlands on the issue of cattle trader Kabir's death at the hands of ANF personnel in Sringeri. Now, after the press meet, when Bakrebel was standing around and talking with some people, two persons came inside the building, threw cow dung on his face and fled. Now, the KKSP members, taken aback by the sudden attack, chased the miscreants and managed to catch one of them. Now, the accused identified himself as Harish. Now, the motive behind the act, or whether the act was instigated by someone else, is not yet known. However, sources said that it is suspected to be Bajrang Dal's handiwork. Harish was handed over to Bundair police, who arrived at the spot. In fact, two miscreants smeared cow dung on the face of Suresh Bhatt Bakrebel, district president of Karnataka Komu Sauharda Vedike. Now, the incident occurred soon after Bakrebel addressed a press meet at Hotel Woodlands on the issue of cattle trader Kabir's death at the hands of ANF personnel in Sringeri. After the press meet, when Bakrebel was standing around and talking with some people, two persons came inside the building, threw cow dung on his face and fled. Now, the KKSP members, taken aback by the sudden attack, chased the miscreants and managed to catch one of them. The accused identified himself as Harish. Now, the motive behind the act, or whether the act was instigated by someone else, is not yet known. However, sources said that it is suspected to be the hands or handiwork of the Bajrang Dal. Harish was handed over to Bundair police, who arrived at the spot. Now, it happened a few days ago when Kabir was shot dead by the anti-Naxal force, who thought that he was a Naxalite. For more on this, I'm joined by my colleague Nishtita. Nishtita, do we know the reason for this particular act?